Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it's a rundown of the films of 2021. Uh, some of the films listed here, like the film that I'm going to start out with, Shadow in the Cloud, are technically not 2021 movies, but I don't give a fuck. I'm going to make my own rules, and since this was released on the 1st of this year, on most platforms, and this is the first time it was released to wide audiences, I'm calling this a 2021 movie. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and fucking tired of this bullshit with the release dates when it comes to films. Just because it had a showing at one film festival one time a year prior to its wide release, that doesn't mean that is the actual release date of that film. We really need to stop this bullshit and just stick with the release date being the time that the film gets the widest release. End of story. When it gets the widest release in either North America, if it's an American film, or uh, in other countries, if it's from overseas or it's a foreign film. None of this bullshit that's confusing, that honestly nobody likes. If you speak to film fans, none of us like this shit. And it seems like it's a new thing with the internet, because I don't remember back in the day the release date of a film being when it showed at a film festival once. I don't remember that being the case, because there were plenty of films that were really popular in a year like 1989, for instance, that might have actually had a showing at Cannes Film Festival a year prior. So I don't understand this bullshit. That's really what it is. Uh, I'm waiting for James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, to do a chronologically confused rant on this bullshit, because I think it deserves it. It is. You know what's bullshit? These fucking arbitrary release dates for films. Let's just make it easy. Widest release. That's the release date. So, anyway, this is a film directed by Roseanne Liang, and the reason why I am deciding to talk about this one is I think it looks like it might be a fun movie. I like the idea behind it. Takes place in World War II. You have gremlins on a plane. You have Chloe Grace Moretz, who is your hero. She is a pilot that, of course, people don't think she can fight or really is much of anything because she's a woman. And I'm hoping they don't really harp on that. I hope they really do not make this into some feminist propaganda piece. If they do that, then I'm not going to be that big on it. But if they just keep that at a minimum and just focus on crazy, over the top fun, I think it might be an enjoyable movie, despite the CGI and some of the cheaper aspects of it, or the unrealistic physics or any of that stuff. I will probably see this within the next week or so, because I am curious about this one, and I did manage to find a copy of it, so I will probably watch it in the next week, and by the time I probably upload this video, I probably will have a review of it a week after this video's upload. So stay tuned for my thoughts on Shadow in the Cloud. The next film on this list is a movie called Locked Down. Now, I'm going to be opening a lot of different tabs, and I'm going to be doing a lot of different stuff here because I just I want to have something that you can look at other than just the Wikipedia page. This is a movie directed by Doug Liman. It's an HBO Max exclusive. It's going to come out on the 14th of January. I saw the trailer for this. It looked like Much Ado About Nothing. The big selling point is it's a comedy heist film that takes place during the COVID-19 pandemic of last year. That's it. That's the big selling point, and I don't really need to be reminded of the pandemic any more than I already am. Plus, I think it's a little cheap to try to turn the COVID-19 pandemic into a comedy. Also, especially this soon, and I'm not big on Anne Hathaway, and I don't know, it just didn't really look like it was going to be that funny. It just didn't really look like anything to run home about. Doug Liman directed it, who did Edge of Tomorrow, and you also have Mindy Kaling, who is a part of the cast. Uh, yeah, you have Anne Hathaway. I mean, the look on her face, it's perfect, because you know what? That's how I feel about this movie. I really could not give a fuck. I mean, this is a horrible photo of Anne Hathaway. She looks completely disinterested. She just looks like she's here for the paycheck, and that's it. And you know what? Hey, I can't really blame her, because it doesn't really look like this is much of a film. So that is locked down. Um, the next film I want to talk about is Outside the Wire, which is a Netflix film. And this one features Anthony Mackie and Damson Idris. The film looks like it might be alright, a time waster, but this poster is trash. This is such fucking garbage. This is such a lazy photoshopped poster. You can tell that this isn't even, I don't even think this is a still photo from the film. I think they put Anthony Mackie's head from a different shot, from a different bit of publicity, and just superimposed it on this other model. And the arm is clearly not there. And then we look at this robot, which is just lazily photoshopped in there. And I hope to God the CGI isn't as bad as this in the actual film itself. I saw the trailer and it doesn't look like it is, but I mean, God, just look at this shit. And then all this fucking cheap fire effects or explosions or shrapnel or whatever the fuck it is. This is an ugly ass poster. Then you have the font, the title here. They don't even put any shading on it. Lazy hack job. Does not do a good job selling the film. If I saw this poster, I would be like, what is this, a Sci-Fi Channel movie? what is this shit? So yeah, shitty poster aside, the film looks like it might be a decent time waster. Takes place in the future. You got a drone pilot who gets sent into this militarized zone. He must work with an android officer, which I believe is played by Anthony Mackie, and they have to try to find some doomsday device. Um, I mean, it's not gonna reinvent the wheel, but it looks like it might be a decent time waster. But Netflix, fire your poster designer. Hire somebody else who actually gives a shit. Because this is just fucking garbage. Then we have The Marksman, which I actually already saw a trailer for this one, and I really wasn't that impressed with it. It just looked pretty generic and been there, done that. Features Liam Neeson. It's another one of those stories where he is playing some old vet who this time around he's probably retired on a farm somewhere, and he comes across this kid who's running away from a cartel, and he decides to protect the kid and help him get across the border. And that's what this is. This is like the Taken. This is like not the Taken, but it's like Taken meets Border Patrol or some shit like that. It looked generic. It looked average. I mean, there's probably much worse films that you could watch, but it just looked like a paint by number Liam Neeson action movie. I would like to see him do something different instead of just another action movie. I know he did like a romantic comedy with his son, and I don't think that did very well. A lot of people didn't like it, but I'm more curious about watching that than I am The Marksman. And isn't there already another movie called The Marksman? I think it stars Wesley Snipes. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's The Marksman with Liam Neeson. Um, then we have trying to see what else we have here. I'm just gonna go with films that I feel are worth talking about, not movies that I don't give a shit about anyway. I don't want to waste your time talking about movies I don't even want to see. So the next one is a remake of Wrong Turn. This is the first time I've actually heard about it. Now, I know there's a trailer for this, but I haven't really bothered to see it yet. I've been busy with other things. I've been working. I've been doing a few other stuff. And I just don't really have a lot of desire to see a remake or a reboot of Wrong Turn. It's directed by Mike P. Nelson. Is it Mike Nelson from Mystery Science Theater 3000? Like, I'd watch it if that was the case. Hey, it's Mike. It's Mike Nelson who's directing it. Is he going to have a cameo with the bots, and are they going to commentate on the movie? No, it's a different guy. This stars Charlotte Vega and Matthew Modine. I don't even know who Charlotte Vega is. Bill Sage is in it. Daisy Head. Matthew Modine. Um, This land is their land. Whatever. Just, I don't know. Do we really need a remake of Wrong Turn? I mean, hasn't this franchise already taken a wrong turn with like 6 or 7 fucking sequels at this point? Do we really need another one? I mean, it being a reboot or a remake doesn't really matter to me because there's been like 7 of these movies. So, it's not that different because it's just a remake and it's not another sequel because it's just the same fucking shit anyway. You might as well just call it another sequel. Put a subtitle down there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind the first 2 films. It's been a long time since I've seen them, but I don't think I've seen all the other sequels. I know there was like this drama about one of the sequels that went direct to video that used a woman's picture on a missing persons board, and they didn't get permission, so there was a lawsuit, and that copy of the sequel was recalled, and that's pretty much the last that I really heard about this franchise until this announcement of this remake of Wrong Turn. I don't know. This poster does nothing for me either. And the tagline, "This land is their land." Uh, that's Wrong Turn, the 2021 remake. Uh, then we have why not? This film called The Little Things, which the poster is not the best. Gotta be honest. It makes it look like a indie comedy drama, some kind of mix of the two. It doesn't really make it look like a thriller or a mystery movie. uh I will say this though, looks like there's a little more effort put into it. I do like the upside down nature of it. I think it's a cool looking visual. I think the font here is a mistake though. It makes it look like it's just a very small indie drama, but maybe that's what it is. But I mean, look at the cast for this. I don't buy that that's the case. Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto. It's directed by John Lee. I think John Lee Hancock. Yeah, he wrote and directed it. and he's done a lot of stuff. So I mean, I'm curious about it for the cast, for Denzel Washington and Jared Leto, and also the concept of the film. It deals with a couple of detectives who have some kind of clash of differences when they're investigating a serial killer. So yeah, it's a neo noir crime psychological thriller movie, and the poster does not really reflect that. So that's The Little Things. It's coming out in January, coming out this month, and we have some other Cinderella movie with Camila Cabello. I don't give a fuck about another Cinderella. I don't care. Malcolm and Marie. Another one I don't give a shit about. Barb and Star go to Vesta Del Mar. I don't know, what even in the fuck is that? Gloria Sanchez Productions. Oh, it's Kristen Wiig. So you have Kristen Wiig doing another comedy. The Friendship We All Want, The Vacation We All Need. And it's PG-13. This poster is just ugly. Looks like an ugly movie. I don't know, man. Just uh just there's a film called Dog, which there's no poster for it yet because I don't think it's actually been finished. It hasn't been shot yet. And it's got a release date of February 12th. I don't think this is being released in February 12th because uh on November 15th of the 2019, it was announced that filming will start in the middle of 2020. It had been filming in Los Angeles during the COVID-19 pandemic, but there hasn't been a trailer yet, and it's supposed to come out next month. I don't think it's coming out in February. I think it's getting pushed. I would be surprised if that wasn't the case because there's no advertising, there's no anything for it. It deals with Channing Tatum. He stars in it. He's also the director. I think it's based on yeah, it's based on a script by Reed Carolyn. You have an army ranger named Briggs and some girl named Lulu who decide to speed down the Pacific Coast to catch their best friend and handler's funeral. And I think it probably has to do something with a dog since it's called Dog. But I mean, I like Channing Tatum. I liked him in 21 Jump Street films. I'm curious to see what he might do here because he's directing it along with Reed Carolyn, and it's another comedy, and that's right in his wheelhouse. So I'll wait for a trailer, but I'm curious. I'm definitely curious about it. I love this string of different titles. You have Dog, Land, Music, um, and music is directed and written by Sia, the singer. You have Nomadland with Frances McDormand. Something called Joe Bell with Marky Mark and his Funky Bunch. Uh, and it's not an animated movie. It's some CGI mix probably because the squirrel or whatever it is probably going to be CGI. Some Disney movie called Flora and Ulysses or Ulysses. I don't give a shit about that. Then we have Tom and Jerry, the 2021 film. This is an oddity in more ways than one. This seems like a film that was intended to be released 10 years ago. And for whatever reason, they couldn't get the cast to commit. They couldn't get a studio to agree to fund it. It just never wound up getting released. And just now, or last year, an old script for this film was dusted off out of a filing cabinet at Warner Brothers, and they were like, "Hey, it's a pandemic. We need to get something out on the streaming platform from HBO Max. Uh, what do we have here? We have this old Tom and Jerry script. All right, Tom and Jerry is well known enough. We can maybe get the parents to agree to sign up for HBO Max so they can show their kids Tom and Jerry. Let's do it. We'll make it like Space Jam. You'll have like or the Looney Tunes films. We'll have Tom and Jerry in CG and animated and live action actors, and it's just a really weird oddity. It seems like something that would have came out around the time of Marmaduke or the Garfield films, not in 2021. And even some of the jokes that you hear in the trailer, they sound like stuff that are from a film that was intended to be released 5 years ago or even longer than that. So, I mean, the trailer, if I were to be honest, it just looked like a generic film. It didn't look like it was going to be atrocious, but it didn't really look like it was going to be that great. Features Chloe Grace Moretz, Michael Pena, Colin Jost, Rob Delaney, and Ken Jeong. Uh, I really don't know what to say about this. It's like we're having a Tom and Jerry movie again, and it just seems like this is a franchise that's been dead for so long or been a joke like in the direct-to-video animated movies that what is really the point of this? It seems like it was a waste of money. I mean, maybe this was going to come out last year and this is another film that Warner Brothers is dumping early or something. I don't know, but it just doesn't really look like it was really worth the money that was put into it to make it. Just like the Smurfs films. So it's being dumped in like February. So you know that it's probably not going to be that good. Even this poster sucks. It just yeah, I don't see the need or the desire. Also, it's directed by Tim Story, and I guess it filming began in 2019, and it's going to get a theatrical release. Yeah, right. This isn't actually getting released in theaters. Do you really think that theaters are going to be open in 2021 in February, and they're going to be open enough that there's going to be a theatrical release? I mean, I'd love for that to be the case, but I think that's pretty unrealistic. But yeah, it was originally intended as a live action computer animated film in 2009. Like I said, it languished in development hell, with plans eventually shifting to producing an entirely animated film. This script is probably cannibalized from the 2009 script. I would not be shocked in the slightest if that's the case. Just, pass. The next one, though, is Nobody, and I actually am really looking forward to this. This looks like it could be a really fun action movie featuring a very unconventional star in Bob Odenkirk from Mr. Show. And I think he was also on the Ben Stiller Show. One of the guys who was responsible for John Wick. Uh, um, he is, I believe, the producer or something like that. One of the producers for John Wick. And yeah, David Lettich. He is producing it along with a bunch of other people. And it's directed by Ilya Nashuler, who directed Hardcore Henry, which I really enjoyed. I thought Hardcore Henry was a very fun, innovative movie. And he definitely knows how to direct action, as evident in Hardcore Henry. And I like the trailer for this. Nobody saw this coming. I didn't know anything about this movie until the trailer came out. And nobody saw the casting coming. Who saw Bob Odenkirk in this role? I didn't. And I think he's going to pull it off. because what I saw in the trailer, I was impressed. So it just shows you unconventional casting that's out of the box is not entirely dead, and also you can have somebody who's known for comedy pull off some action because they're a good actor. That's the thing. Bob Odenkirk is not just a nobody when it comes to his acting ability. I think he's going to pull this off and then some because he's a great actor. He's always been a good actor. So I'm hoping this gets him more recognition. And I'm hoping all the action is not in the trailer because that would suck. And that's happened before. I mean, for instance, Atomic Blonde. But I'm definitely on board with this one. This is like the first film for 2021 I'm really looking forward to. So that's Nobody. And then we have like a film called Cherry. And this one's a little intriguing. Features an army medic with PTSD who becomes addicted to opioids, starts robbing banks to pay for the addiction, starring Tom Holland. You have a bunch of other actors and actresses, but he's the main focus. It's directed by the Russos, who are very talented directors. It's based on a book that I've never read, but apparently it's an Apple original movie. For some reason, there's Best Picture on top. I don't know why. When I first saw this poster, I was like, why does it say Best Picture? What is this? Also, it being an Apple original film is not a very big selling point, and neither is this poster. I get it, cherry red. But this looks like a mugshot. Did Tom Holland get arrested? Also, Tom Holland in this, he looks like the other half of Unis Honest. Not Markiplier. He looks like Crank Gameplays. When he had his short hair, when he cut his hair short during that phase in Unis Honest. Very few people are going to get that reference, but he does. He looks like uh, the other half of that pair. Looks like Crank Gameplays. Ethan. He looks like Ethan. Somebody has to. There has to already be a Photoshop with Ethan's face on this poster for Cherry. But yeah, that's Cherry. There's like a teaser trailer. It didn't really show much of anything, so I can't really say much about it. So the next one, there's a horror film called The Vigil. I saw the trailer for this, and I don't know about this one. Apparently, it came out in 2019 overseas. Uh, I just know about. I really am not that enthusiastic about this plot. It deals with this. I don't know why they don't have a synopsis yet on Wikipedia, but I'm not surprised because Wikipedia. A lot of people, because Wikipedia is something that relies upon others to come in and add to it. And I think since COVID, a lot of people, the same people who actually would go in and take the time to add synopsises and even add pages for certain films, they're just not doing that anymore. So there's a lot of stuff on Wikipedia for newer films that's like barren for some reason in terms of content because a lot of the same people who just used to spend their time adding to it just aren't doing it anymore. Uh, which honestly kind of sucks. But the Vigil, it deals with a guy who provides an overnight watch to a deceased member of his family, and there's something to do with the Jewish religion, and I think this is based on like a legend, and that's the whole thing. The Vigil is like this overnight thing where you keep vigil over a deceased member of your family to protect them from spirits, and that's what the basis of this plot is. Just does nothing for me. Not because I'm not religious or anything, or it's not my religion. Uh, it's just because it just seems like a generic ghost movie or a generic film about some kind of entity. It just doesn't really interest me at all. Uh, but that's Vigil, the Vigil. And we have Chaos Walking. Ooh, chaos indeed. This is a film I think is based in a book or a book series, and this film has been pushed back numerous times. I think it was supposed to come out 2 years ago, and it's just now going to be coming out, and no one escapes the noise. Yeah. Um, it does seem like a very noisy film, that's for sure. Starring Daisy Ridley and Tom Holland. The plot involves your typical, it's the future, there's a apocalypse, but this time around, there's something involving hearing thoughts, I believe. Like you can actually hear people think, and women have disappeared, and all the men are afflicted by the noise. I almost thought it said all the men are afflicted by the Noid. Now that would probably be even worse and be even more chaotic if they were all afflicted by the Noid from Domino's. But anyway, yo, Noid! They are afflicted by the noise and their thoughts are projected, and I think that could get annoying real fast if they don't handle that properly. I'm not big on Daisy Ridley, and she's the woman that appears out of the blue and makes things complicated, and I I don't know. Just it's one of those movies that I might watch it by the end of 2021 sometime just to see if it's as bad as I think it's going to be, and to check out Tom Holland's performance. And this is another one that's directed by Doug Liman. And also to see what his direction will be like, but I'm not super big on it either way. That's Chaos Walking. The next one is Coming to America, the sequel. I love the first film. Coming to America, the first movie, is one of my favorite comedies, one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies. And I saw the trailer for this, and it looked like it might be a time waster, but it didn't look like it needed to be made. It was one of those sequels where it's like, this isn't necessary. We don't need another Coming to America. And that being said, if Eddie manages to capture some of that same magic from the first film, I think it still might be worth it. Because Eddie's in a little bit of a renaissance right now after Dolomite Is My Name, and I'm hoping that with the same director, a lot of the same people involved, that he can bring the same spark, the same comedic energy and flair to this sequel. And as long as it's not disrespectful to the original, it's not trying to retcon shit, it's not trying to do this bullshit that other sequels tend to do nowadays where they shit on the original movie or they shit on the first film. As long as it doesn't do that, if it does things that are similar or the same as the first movie, and it's kind of the same, I can deal with it if it's a good time. I'm expecting this to be firmly average, but if it's above average, that's above expectations for me. And I will say that as long as this is an above average film, and it's something that I wouldn't mind watching again, it'll be a success. Um, I will check it out regardless. I mean, Eddie's back, Arsenio's back. Uh, a lot of the same people who could be back are back. You have new cast members as well, and Tracy Morgan and Wesley Snipes, who are brought into the fray. Louis Anderson also comes back as Maurice as a cameo. That'll be fun to see how they're going to handle that. Um, I'm just hoping this isn't a lazy sequel. But you got a lot of people involved. Craig Brewer's the director. And I'm just hoping, I'm really hoping that this is a fun film, because it takes place after the events of the first movie. Prince Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy, he's set to become the king, but then he discovers an estranged son, played by Jermaine Fowler, and he goes to try to groom his son as his crown prince, since Akeem and Lisa's daughter is ineligible to take over the throne because of Zamundan law. I'm hoping they don't pull some bullshit with that where, oh, it's sexist and da 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 da. I really hope they don't do that. And then you have Akeem and Semi, who set off to America once again, and shenanigans ensue. And you also have Eddie playing the old men at men at the barber shop, doing all that stuff again. And you have the sexual chocolate guy, sexy chocolate. And I'm optimistic, but I'm cautiously optimistic about Coming to America. This title is confusing because when you say it, it's the same title as the first movie. But yeah, that's the sequel to Coming to America. Then you have The Kingsman, which is a prequel to the Kingsman films. This was supposed to come out last year. There's already been a few trailers for the movie. Looks like a slick, stylish film in the vein of the first two. And I'm curious to see how they're going to work with the World War I setting, and it looks like it has potential. It's a prequel that I'm actually genuinely interested in. This is another 2021 film that I am definitely curious about. As you can see, it says September 18th. It was supposed to come out last year. And you also have a good villain in Rasputin. I'm really looking forward to how they're gonna work with that, and Ray Fiennes reprising his role, and how they started the Kingsman agency. Matthew Vaughn is directing it, and yeah, it looks like a film that has potential to be one of those prequels that is actually worth a shit. So that's The Kingsman. Comes out in March. Then we have No Time to Die, which I think it got pushed back again, which is the new Bond film. Supposed to come out last year, and it got pushed back numerous times. Yeah, and I think, yeah, it got pushed to April. In theaters in 2021. They should have in theaters when it comes to these movies in quotes. In theaters 2021. Because it's no guarantee they're going to actually be in the theater. But yeah, the last Daniel Craig Bond film. This honestly might be one of the last Bond films we're going to have for a long time, even though there's rumors about another guy being cast. MGM's in trouble. They're trying to sell their assets, trying to sell the studio in a time when I don't think there really are going to be that many buyers, if any buyers, because all these studios are hurting right now. They're not going to want to take on MGM's dying stock on top of their own dying stock. There's a silver lining with all of this. Disney is not going to try to buy MGM despite the rumors, because they can't afford to right now, because they're bleeding money with COVID and everything. So it's just one of those things where No Time to Die. We'll see if this film gets a chance to live or die in the theater. I think it's just going to wind up getting put to streaming. I think all of these films in 2021 are begrudgingly going to be put on streaming by some platform, because I don't really think we are going to have enough people to warrant theatrical showings for these films in 2021, even with the vaccine and everything. I don't think it's going to happen soon enough, and I don't think the theaters are going to be in good enough shape. I think there's going to be a lot of theaters that are going to go bankrupt. A lot of them are already on their last legs, and I think sadly, when we get further along into 2021 and nobody's coming to bail them out, nobody's coming to help these theater chains, if nobody comes in, if the government doesn't step in, or some other studio doesn't come in, or some other rich individual or group of people doesn't come in and help the theater industry, there's not going to be any theaters to even show these films in, because they're all going to be closed, not just because of COVID, but because they can't keep the doors open because they don't have the money. So it's just a really deadly situation for the film industry as we know it. So No Time to Die is honestly, that might as well be the motto for the film industry right now. No time to die, because we can't die right now. Even though we are on life support, we cannot die. This is not a time to die, because if they die, they're not coming back. I really don't think they're coming back, at least not in the way that we know the film industry. And there's a lot of good and bad things about that, but just like this movie, looks like there's going to be a lot of good and bad things about No Time to Die. I think it might have some good action sequences, like a lot of these Bond films do, but I'm not really big on the whole, you're not 007, this girl is 007. I'm not big on that at all, and I'm not big on some of the stuff I've seen in the trailer where people are like, oh, who are you? I don't know who you are. The whole stuff when Bond goes to the I think it's like I don't think it's MI6, but that might be it. But it's been a while since I've seen some Bond movies. So he goes to the headquarters, and then they're all like, "Excuse me, you're not 007, and I don't know who you are." It's like bullshit. I don't care how many years Bond has been out of service. There's no way in hell that anyone at that agency is not gonna know who he is. So, yeah, it just, and plus Skyfall was so good. I love Skyfall. It was so great. Um, and then the last one came out. What even was the name of that one? I'm trying to remember what the fuck the name was of the last Bond movie. Yeah, it stuck with me that much. I don't even remember what the Spectre. Spectre was disappointing. It was overlong and just I just didn't really like it that much, except for some of the action. But I don't know. No Time to Die takes place 5 years after the capture of Blofeld. James Bond is retired. He's approached by his friend Felix to come out of retirement and to try to stop this villain, this bad guy, played by Rami Malek. And you have Lashana Lynch, who plays Nomi, who's the new 007 agent. And I don't know. We'll see how they handle that one. I'm not very enthusiastic about how they're going to handle it because it's a trailer, but maybe it's just a bad trailer. And we'll see how Fukunaga handles the franchise. But yeah, this is not coming out in 2021 in the theater. I really don't think it is. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it does get a theatrical release. Then we have Peter Rabbit 2, don't care. Bob's Burgers, the movie. I actually haven't seen that much of Bob's Burgers, so I can't really say much. We have Mortal Kombat, the 2021 film, directed by Simon McQuid. It's also going to get put on HBO Max in April. I'll give it a shot. It's supposed to be R-rated. It's supposed to be closer to the video game. I guess Liu Kang is not the main focus, and I think it's gonna focus more on Scorpion, maybe, or Sub Zero or whatever. I think it's gonna focus more on either on one of those two. And this cast is a lot of people I'm not familiar with at all. But then again, I wasn't that familiar with the cast of the first movie initially, so that's not uh, a deaf nail, so to speak. But this poster, little to no effort, that's not very promising. Also, there's some rumors about the screening. There was a test screening for this film and it was a disaster. People in the audience were like laughing at it, talking about how the gore looked cheesy, and that makes me worry about what they did to the movie. Not not prior to the test screening, but after the test screening. And the reason for that is way too often studios put the opinions of a small group of people at a test screening up at the forefront and make too many unnecessary changes to shit. And I'm worried that because the audience was laughing at the what from what I had been reading was practical effects, that they're gonna slaver it in CGI, that they're gonna pull a prequel, and well, the audience thought it looked cheesy, so then they added a bunch of CGI or they redid the effects, and that has me worried. Um, the thing with this film, I just want it to be a simple tournament fighter movie. Plot doesn't need to be that complex, and just balls to the wall, crazy gore and violence, and a hard R rating. That's what I want from the Mortal Kombat movie. I don't want any of this pussyfooting around, PG-13 stuff. I love the first film, but that is something that definitely did hurt it. The film could have been epic. It would have been an epic movie if it had practical gore, but it didn't. So it was just PG-13 and felt like it lost a lot of its teeth. And it doesn't need to be that complicated. You don't even have to introduce everybody's mythos and everybody's subplot and everybody's story. You don't have to do that shit. Just have the main cast. They go to I think it's the Shadow Realm, and they have the tournament, and they just kick each other's asses, and may the best fighter win. That's it. It doesn't need to be that complicated. Don't need any of that bullshit. Don't even need to make it, oh, we have to win this fight, otherwise the world's going to be destroyed. We don't need to do that shit either. Just have it be one simple tournament, and just tons of kick-ass violence and fighting. And to be perfectly honest, you don't really need it to be even a setup for sequels. Just make it one badass standalone Mortal Kombat film that's loaded with carnage and bloodshed, and um, it ends with somebody finishing Shao Kahn, and that's it. End of movie. Don't even need to have any more films, or if you want to have films, have them be spin-offs and different stories, uh, with different characters. But that's really what I want from Mortal Kombat. I want the film to give me this feeling of fuck yeah, and just be super pumped. Like every time I hear the Mortal Kombat theme from the 19, um, I believe it's 95. I think I could be way off. It's been a while since I've seen Mortal Kombat. But yeah, I just want to have that experience. Well, just hear that theme and the guy goes Mortal Kombat, and I want to have that feeling throughout the majority of the movie. But I don't think that's probably going to happen. I think this is probably going to suck, knowing the state of video game movies as of right now. But I'm cautiously optimistic about this one too. But also, I haven't seen a trailer. I really need to see a trailer before I really sit on either side of the fence when it comes to this film. All I have is this lazy ass Photoshop fucking poster and this shitty looking logo, and that's a really bad first impression. But I'll just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see with this Mortal Kombat film. Then we have a film called BIOS. It's got Tom Hanks in it. It's directed by Miguel Sapochnik. Deals with another android, an inventor, played by Tom Hanks, one of the last men on Earth. He builds an android to keep him company. He goes on a journey. This sounds like a mix between Bicentennial Man and I Am Legend. And it could work, but I just don't know. I mean, Caleb Landry Jones plays the robot, and I'm not really big on him as an actor. And it's just one of those films that's like, this plot isn't very inspiring, isn't very intriguing to me. It's just a pastiche of different things that I've already seen been done a million times. I have to wait for a trailer before I really say for sure, but it's not a good first impression. Then you have some drama with Kevin Hart called Fatherhood. I thought it was a remake of the film starring Patrick Swayze for a second, and I would not have been surprised if that was the case, considering what kind of movies that Kevin Hart likes to do. Now we have A Quiet Place Part 2. This one is directed by John Krasinski, written by John Kay as well. It's a sequel to A Quiet Place, which I really enjoyed. I saw it in the theater. It was a really unique and fun experience. When people would shut the fuck up. See, that's the thing with it. When people would shut the fuck up and be quiet and experience the film, it was a fun experience. But it wasn't when they would not follow the rules. That's something I definitely don't miss about the theatrical experience. The people. The people who don't give a shit and are not paying attention to, trying to think of the right word here. Values isn't the right word, but it's a similar kind of thing. You know, people are not attuned to their environment. They don't, and they think they're like watching a movie at home, so they can just talk as loudly as they want to and crunch as loudly as they want. When you watch a film like this where there's a lot of quiet parts, and that's the intent, those kind of guests are even more insufferable. It's like hundreds of Mikeys from that scene in a Ninja Turtles movie where he's like crunching loudly in Raph's ear. And it's just crunch. Hey, could you crunch louder? I can still hear out of this one. That's what it's like. Which is why I probably won't see this in the theater, even if it was in theaters. So, and also with The Quiet Place Part 2, I don't know if we really needed a sequel to A Quiet Place. I know it opened itself up for one, but seems like a pretty standalone story. But I'll give it a shot. I like Emily Blunt, and I like the world of this movie, and I like the idea behind it. So I'll still give it a watch, regardless. But I don't know if I'm as psyched about it as I was the first film, but it's still something that I am 100% interested in checking out in 2021. Now, I think what I'm going to do, because I was not intending this to be a one video, one shot thing, because you know me, I like to go in depth. I like to go all the way. And as you can already hear by my voice starting to break apart at the seams for some reason, I am probably going to call it a day with this particular part, but I will pick up with my thoughts on Godzilla vs. Kong and a few more films from 2021 in the next part. But until that particular time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my thoughts on a handful of films from 2021. And until the next part, I'll see you later. See ya.